It gives you, when I was a younger broker just getting into the profession, it gives you just instant credibility. You know, people look at you a little differently and they say, okay, well, if you're willing to apply yourself in such a rigorous education and designation, then you're someone I want to work with.
Welcome to our commercial real estate series, Behind the Building, giving the audience a behind the scenes look at different aspects of commercial real estate, featuring industry professionals and leaders who we work with every day to make it all happen. I've been spending some episodes talking with fellow CCIM designees who believe in the power of the pen and all that the organization has to offer. With me today is Todd Hamilton, a fellow CCIM who practices commercial real estate with Citywide Commercial in Phoenix, Arizona, and he truly embodies the evolution of our industry. Welcome, Todd.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I love CCIM and I appreciate the invitation.
Sure thing. So, to provide a little insight on what the CCIM Institute is, it stands for Certified Commercial Investment Member, and they've been around since 1967. The CCIM organization, they've been an established leader in education, technology, and networking resources. It's a real powerful organization, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. That's why I love talking about it. So, Todd, tell us about your story. What drew you to the designation and your journey to the pen?
Sure. So I graduated college with a finance degree, and I was a banker for a few years. Then I got into commercial real estate, and I wanted to learn as much as I possibly could about commercial real estate. And so I asked all the professionals around me, and I asked them, what kind of education, what kind of designation can you get? And they said, hey, you've got to get the CCIM. And it was, I love math, I love finance, and I looked into it and I said, yeah, this is definitely for me. I got into it relatively soon and early in my career. So I've been a designee since 2001, and I met a lot of great people uh, through the local, working on the local chapter, and just CCMs in general on a national level. So it's great. So that's how I got into it.
Good deal. So, for you professionally and personally, what has CCIM meant to you? What does it mean to be a CCIM?
It gives you, when I was a younger broker just getting into the profession, it gives you just instant credibility. You know, people look at you a little differently and they say, okay, well, if you're willing to apply yourself in such a rigorous education and designation, then you're someone I want to work with. You've invested in yourself, you've invested in your career. People like longevity. How many times have you worked with a mortgage broker or someone else, and then all of a sudden, a couple of years later, they're selling real estate, and then, so this designation really shows that you're in it to win it. You're a commercial practitioner, and you're probably going to be there for a long time, and you set yourself apart by having this enhanced education.
Hmm. Yeah.
So that's why I really like it. And the people and the network that you get. You get an instant network nationally and locally. I think I love the national network. I just did a deal with Bobby Miracle in Vegas. I think I gave her that lead, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. And she just finished it. I forgot I even gave that to her. She said, hey, send me your W-9 so I can send you a check. And so just good people working with honest, hardworking, smart, good people that you can depend on. That's what I love about the CCM designation.
And I think it means a lot when you are a smaller brokerage as well. When the CCIM network gives you that large brokerage feel. And you have, no matter where you are in the world, if a client has a need, you can refer them out to, another CCIM out in the world. So it's a wonderful
100%.
resource.
So I do that all the time. So I own Citywide Commercial. Started it in 2018, and we've grown it to about 29 agents. And I have agents come to me all the time saying, I need someone in Georgia. Who can you help me with? Well, the first thing I do is just go to the CCIM website. If I don't already know a CCIM from Georgia, I'll look up the website and I'll say, oh, I know this person. Um, and so I put them together and it's been very successful. And you just know you can trust those people.
Mhm.
You know, you can trust, that they're knowledgeable and they're honorable people. So
Right.
it's really helped me grow my business and be a nice little asset for my brokers.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the future. I had recently picked up the SIOR magazine and saw that you were featured in that magazine. It was talking about modern brokerage models in the new AI world. So tell us the gist of those insights and how brokers should be moving forward in our AI driven world.
So I've been an SIOR since about 2018, as a matter of fact. It's been a great organization, and what I love about that, just like CCIM, is you get to gain all this knowledge from people throughout the world. I mean, it's just not CCIM is not limited to just national, but global, and so you get to hear about all the different people and all the different states and countries using AI and how they use it. And what I think about AI is it really helps um, the practitioner that already has a real strong knowledge of commercial real estate and the fundamentals, that all the CCIM fundamentals, net present value, the IRR. If you can couple that knowledge with AI's incredible knowledge, it's a super tool for you. I don't think it's going to put practitioners out of business, but it may. Let's look back. I mean, let's look back 20 years when we didn't, a lot of us, maybe 25 years now, when we didn't have computers, right? Or cell phones. Um, it was harder to do business, and it took, I would imagine, and I think now I do the brokerage of 10 brokers from 25 years ago. So it just made me so much more productive. I think that's what AI is going to do. Um, I think it's going to be, maybe a little bit tougher to break into the business, maybe because, you get, people that have had their designation for a long time, been in the business for a long time. Now I can do even more work. I can be even more productive. So I can service more clients, build more connections with the AI as a tool. But I think if you're a young broker getting into the business, I mean, if you embrace that, where a lot of the older practitioners may not know how to use AI as much, I think that you have a super competitive advantage. But I think that if you're a practitioner saying, all right, I'm just going to rely on how I do business today, I think you're going to be in for a rude awakening when that person that's been in the business for a couple of years just leapfrogs you, or the person that your peer leapfrogs you, and you're just sitting there saying, "Well, what happened?" So I think it's going to be an incredible tool, and I think you really need to embrace it and just play with it and ask it questions, and it does the most incredible things if you know how to ask the right questions.
Right. And it takes a very experienced broker as well um, to be able to ask those right questions and to frame the situation and the scenarios to where you'll get the most appropriate response from AI. And so
100%.
that comes with our experience as being part of CCIM organization. And it does, like you said, with the productivity and being more efficient, it allows us to be closer and spend more time with our clients because we are in a relationship business and we cannot forget that at all.
100%. 100, and that's where you can't just rely on AI to run your business. But I mean, you got to check it though. I mean, here's the deal. I mean, that's why the CCIM knowledge in education is so important. I mean, if you run something through chat and all of a sudden you come up with a 500% IRR, you might say, something might be wrong here, and maybe maybe let's just say it's a 50% IRR, right? And then maybe someone without a designated CCM designation may say, oh yeah, look, client, it's a 50% IRR, and that's what it says, it's right. And they might look like a fool because AI got it wrong. Where as a someone who has the CCIM knowledge, they're like, okay, well, something doesn't compute here. And so you can dig back through the prompt and figure out what did AI really figure out, and oh, they missed this assumption. And so really the IRR is 12%, right? So, but if you don't know the fundamentals of IRR or net present value, you wouldn't know to catch that. So that's why it's so important to get the foundation, the knowledge that CSAM provides.
Yeah, yeah. Well, as we round out this interview, tell me how you think our CCIM organization will continue to empower our members so that we can be the boots on the ground, working effectively and intentionally for our clients' best interest.
I think it kind of goes back to the fundamentals of the education and just getting people the right information so they can make sure that all the AI generated information is correct. And we need to make sure that we're protecting our client first and foremost, right? With good information. And that's what they're relying on us to do. And so I think that we really learn and practice the all the different formulas and everything that makes a CCM a CCIM. And also I think maybe this is a little off point, but networking is so important because like you said earlier, it's great to have all this technology, but it's really a people business, right? I mean, I've met so many people. A good friend of mine, David Verwer, I use him all the time when just to call him up and say, hey, David, what do you think about this? And we have an honest conversation. But we develop that relationship through our, working on the board. Neil Cherney is another great example. He's a brilliant person with what he does in finance. And so anytime I have a question, I know I can trust his information. And so it's the network, it's the personal. Bobby Mastracci, she's really important to me. She got me in the board. Really, she was a president for a few years, and we developed a really good professional relationship. And I grew professionally. As a leader, just being on the board, working with her and other leaders, and lastly, and Marina Hammersmith. She's a great healthcare professional. She's worked her way up the CCIM ranks, and I hope to see her be president sometime. So of the organization. So I mean, all these people that have built, have great knowledge, but also built a great career working with the organization and local leadership, national leadership, and just surrounding, I think it really comes down to surround yourself with the best, and that'll get you even higher than you think you could go. And also Nick Miner, good friend of mine. He just became an instructor. He's a brilliant guy. I love talking to Nick, and I talked to him about an investment deal not too long ago, and he said, "This is it. This is how the numbers work." And I'm like, "That makes sense. Let me share that with my client." And just the way he organized his thoughts because of CCIM and what he's learned, and our relationship through CCIM, you know, it's a very professional way to do business when you're working with CCIM. So anyway, I could go on. I probably forgot a lot of people that I've worked with in CCIM because there have been so many over the years, but and I keep growing my network. So
And that's the power of the pen. A tremendous network, a tremendous education. And it's not just that core education that we come out of the gate with, but we have all kinds of continuing ed opportunities. Things change over time. So CCIM brings us a revised curriculum from time to time. And then the technology, again, that is so helpful to make sure that we're providing the best service to our clients and the best analysis out there. So,
I
Todd,
think you're
thank you
right.
so much for being a part of this Behind the Building series to talk about the CCIM Institute. I encourage the viewers to reach out to me, as I'm here to be your resource for all things commercial real estate. I can help connect you with Todd should you like to explore commercial real estate in the Phoenix area. And that's, again, the power of the CCIM network. Be sure to keep an eye out for future Behind the Building interviews with other industry leaders just like Todd.